Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a world without wheels. No cars rushing on highways. No bicycles gliding through city streets. No trains speeding across vast lands. No airplanes touching down with their sturdy landing gear. How would we move heavy things? How would we travel far? How would our lives be different? Think about it. Every day, we rely on the wheel without even noticing. It carries our food from farms to tables. It takes us to work, to school, to visit friends. It powers machines that build our homes, our cities, our dreams. The wheel is everywhere, quiet, simple, but absolutely essential. Yet, this little round shape is one of the greatest inventions in human history. It's not flashy like electricity or the internet. It doesn't make noise or light up the sky. But it changed everything, from how we trade goods across rivers and deserts, to how armies fought battles, to how families live their everyday lives. The wheel made the impossible possible. It turned hard work into smoother journeys. It gave humanity speed, efficiency, and freedom. As one funny saying goes, the guy who invented the first wheel was an idiot. The guy who invented the other three, he was a genius. But seriously, behind that simple circle lies a story full of curiosity, trial and error, and human cleverness. And the most amazing part? It didn't start with a brilliant inventor drawing plans in a fancy workshop. It didn't begin with science or math textbooks. It started much simpler, with people watching logs rolling down a hill and wondering, what if we could control that roll? That tiny spark of curiosity became the wheel we know today. So come with me. Let's travel back through time and discover the epic history of the wheel. Long before the first cities rose from the earth, long before anyone wrote on clay tablets or built great temples, humans already had a secret helper. It wasn't fire. It wasn't tools of stone. It was something simple, round objects. People in the Paleolithic era, tens of thousands of years ago, noticed one important thing: round things roll. And when something rolls, it moves much more easily than when you drag it. Imagine this: a group of early humans needed to move a gigantic stone, perhaps to build a monument, a tomb, or just to clear land. Dragging it directly over the ground was exhausting. The friction was too strong. Muscles burned. Sweat poured. Progress was slow, sometimes only a few meters a day. But then, someone placed thick logs under the stone. As the group pulled, the logs rolled beneath it. The heavy block slid forward with far less effort. This was the first roller system, not yet a wheel, but the beginning of an idea. Scientifically, it's about something called rolling friction. When you drag an object, every part of it rubs against the ground, creating huge resistance. But when it rolls, only a tiny point touches the surface at any moment. The rest is in the air, free to move. That small change made a huge difference. Stones that once took days to move could now travel farther in hours. Monuments like Stonehenge in England or the giant statues on Easter Island. Many experts believe early builders used log rollers to transport those massive blocks over long distances. Over thousands of years, people experimented more. They watched logs roll down hills naturally. They saw how round stones or animal skulls sometimes rolled when kicked. Curiosity grew. What if we could make something that rolls on purpose? They wondered. They didn't have books or schools. They learned by watching, by trying, by failing, and by succeeding just a little each time. But turning that observation into a true will took a very long time, perhaps 10,000 years or more from the first rollers to the first fixed axle. Why so long? Because the real wheel needed more than rolling. It needed an axle that stays still while the wheel turns around it. It needed a way to attach it to a cart or sledge without falling off. It needed imagination and patience. So the story of the wheel didn't start with a sudden invention. It started with quiet observation in the darkness of prehistory, with people who simply noticed, round things roll easier than drag. and that tiny spark of understanding would one day change the entire world. Now, let's journey to ancient Mesopotamia, the fertile land between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, in what is today Iraq. Around 3500 BCE, in the bustling city-states of Sumer, a quiet revolution began. The wheel appeared for the first time, but not on a cart or chariot. It was created for something peaceful and artistic, shaping beautiful pottery. Picture a Sumerian potter in a simple mud brick workshop, surrounded by the soft glow of oil lamps. Before this invention, pots were built by hand, coiled slowly, often uneven and time-consuming. Then came the potter's wheel, a flat disc of stone or wood mounted on a simple pivot or spindle. The potter turned it slowly with his hand or foot. As it spun steadily, wet clay rose and shaped itself into perfect circles under skilled fingers. Pots became symmetrical, thinner, stronger, and much quicker to make. This rotating platform, the true first wheel, transformed pottery forever. It allowed Sumerians to produce large quantities of jars, bowls, and vessels for storing grain, oil, water, and for trade across the rivers. Evidence survives today, fragments of wheel-thrown pottery from this period, and even a stone potter's wheel discovered in the ancient city of Ur, dated to around 3100 BCE. The idea spread rapidly because it was so practical. But the clever Sumerians soon wondered, if this disc spins so well for clay, could it carry weight too? By around 3200 BCE, only a few hundred years later, the wheel stepped outside the workshop. The first transport wheels emerged, solid discs made from 3 wooden planks joined tightly, with a fixed axle piercing the center. These heavy wheels were fitted to sledges or simple carts, pulled by people or onagers. They moved loads far more efficiently than dragging alone. One remarkable survivor is the Ljubljana Marshes wheel from Slovenia, dated to about 3150 BCE, the oldest wooden wheel ever found, showing how the concept traveled quickly across regions. The wheel was born not for speed, but for making beautiful pots in the warm lamplight of ancient homes. Soon, people attached it to carts, and the world began to move faster. Trade expanded. Resources flowed. Cities expanded. From a simple potter's tool in Sumer, the wheel had taken its first true steps, and humanity's journey accelerated forever. By around 2000 BCE, the wheel took another giant leap forward. In regions like Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, and soon in ancient Egypt, a new design appeared, the spoked wheel. Instead of heavy solid discs, wheels now had thin spokes connecting a small central hub to the outer rim. This made them much lighter, faster, and better at absorbing shocks from rough ground. These lighter wheels were perfect for one thing: war. Chariots pulled by horses became deadly weapons. In Egypt under the New Kingdom, pharaohs like Ramses II used spoked-wheel chariots with 4 or 6 spokes to charge into battle. The Hittites from Anatolia improved them further: lighter frames, for spokes, even room for 3 warriors: driver, archer, and shield-bearer. Mycenaean warriors in Greece adopted similar designs. Chariots allowed armies to move quickly across plains, shoot arrows while charging, and strike terror into enemies. With spokes, wheels became weapons of war. Later, around 1000 BCE in Celtic Europe, innovations continued. Iron rims were added around the wooden rim for extra strength and durability. Wheels lasted longer on rocky terrain. Iron hubs made them even tougher. These improvements spread across Europe, making chariots and wagons more reliable for both war and trade. But the wheel wasn't only for destruction. In ancient China, independent developments occurred around 2000 BCE with spoked wheels, and by around 100 to 200 CE, though some evidence suggests earlier, the wheelbarrow was invented. This single-wheeled cart let one person carry heavy loads over rough paths, a tool of peace for farmers and builders. Even earlier, water wheels appeared in the ancient Near East and China for irrigation and grinding grain. These large wheels turned by flowing rivers lifted water to fields or powered mills to feed growing cities. With spokes, wheels became weapons of war, charging across battlefields, carrying death and glory. But they also became tools of peace, like lifting water to feed growing cities or helping farmers move their harvests. The wheel now served both destruction and creation. Humanity had learned to harness its power in opposite ways, and the story of progress kept turning. For thousands of years after the spoked wheel, the basic design didn't change much. Wheels remained wooden, often with iron reinforcements, turning slowly on carts and carriages. In the Middle Ages across Europe, horse-drawn carriages and heavy wagons carried people, goods, and knights through muddy roads and cobblestone streets. Windmills dotted the landscape, tall wooden structures with large sails catching the wind to grind grain or pump water. These were simple but essential machines, powered by nature, helping villages survive. One useful invention from ancient China, the wheelbarrow, spread westward along the Silk Road during the Middle Ages. By the 12th or 13th century, it reached Europe through trade routes connecting Asia to the west. This single-wheeled cart allowed one person to carry heavy loads over rough paths, much easier than carrying by hand or using two-wheeled carts. Farmers, builders, and merchants adopted it quickly, making daily work lighter and more efficient. During the Renaissance, from the 14th to 17th centuries, people explored mechanics more deeply. Gears, cranks, and complex mechanisms appeared in clocks, automata, and early machines. Mechanical clocks with intricate gear trains told time accurately in churches and homes. Windmills and water wheels were refined with better gears to transfer power smoothly. Inventors sketched ideas in notebooks, dreaming of machines that could do more with less effort. But the real transformation came during the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries. Steam power changed everything. In 1829, George Stephenson's rocket, one of the first successful steam locomotives, won the Rainhill trials. It had iron wheels rolling on iron rails, powered by steam from burning coal. The large front driving wheels were wooden with iron tires, cylinders angled to push pistons, and a tall chimney blasting smoke. This yellow and black machine reached speeds up to 30 miles per hour, faster than any horse. Suddenly, wheels powered by steam carried people and goods across continents at incredible speeds. For thousands of years, the wheel didn't change much. It rolled quietly through history, until machines arrived. Suddenly, wheels powered by steam carried people across continents, connected cities, and fueled the modern world. The age of slow journeys was ending. A new era of speed and industry had begun, all thanks to that ancient round invention. By the mid-19th century, wheels were strong and reliable, but rides were still bumpy and noisy on rough roads. Then came a simple but brilliant idea: fill a tire with air. In 1845, Scottish engineer Robert William Thomson patented the pneumatic tire, a hollow leather outer layer enclosing a rubberized fabric tube inflated with air. He called them aerial wheels. They provided a cushion of air that absorbed shocks and made travel much smoother. Unfortunately, rubber was expensive, so they weren't widely used at first. More than 40 years later, in 1888, another Scot, John Boyd Dunlop, a veterinarian in Belfast, reinvented the pneumatic tire for his son's tricycle. The boy complained of a sore ride on solid rubber tires over cobblestones. Dunlop wrapped a rubber tube in canvas, inflated it, and fitted it inside a thin rubber outer tire. He patented it, and soon his tires were used in bicycle races. Riders flew faster and more comfortably. This popular version revived Thomson's forgotten idea and sparked the modern tire industry. By the late 1880s and 1890s, cars arrived. Carl Benz's 1885 patent motorwagon used simple solid rubber tires, but the pneumatic tire soon followed. In the early 1900s, Henry Ford's Model T, the first mass-produced car, rolled on clincher pneumatic tires, high-pressure rubber tubes on wooden artillery wheels. These tires, combined with basic suspension, made cars practical for everyday people. Rides became smoother, safer, and quieter. No more constant jolts from every pothole. In the 20th century, tires evolved dramatically. Radial tires appeared in the 1940s-50s. Stronger belts under the tread for better grip and longer life. Alloy wheels replaced heavy steel for lighter weight and better heat dissipation. In racing, like Formula One, carbon fiber wheels and rims became common, incredibly light, strong, and resistant to failure at high speeds. These advancements turned cars into high-performance machines. Air inside a tire, a simple idea that made rides smoother and safer. Today, wheels help planes land softly on runways, rockets launch into space with massive tires, and even robots explore Mars on rugged rovers. From a leather tube in 1845 to carbon fiber in modern racing, the wheel keeps evolving, carrying us farther, faster, and more comfortably than ever before. Now we arrive in the 21st century, our own time, where the wheel continues to evolve in ways our ancestors could never imagine. Smart wheels are here. Tires now have sensors built inside, tire pressure monitoring systems, or TPMS, constantly check air pressure and temperature, sending warnings to the dashboard if something is wrong. This keeps us safer on the road. Even more amazing, self-healing tires. Some prototypes use special rubber compounds that automatically seal small punctures when nails or debris pierce them. A tiny hole closes itself. No need to stop and change a tire in the rain. Autonomous cars rely on advanced wheels too. Sensors, cameras, and AI work together with precise tires to handle every turn and stop without a human driver. Then there are airless tires. Michelin has developed prototypes with flexible, honeycomb-like structures made of strong materials. No air inside means no flats, no pressure loss. These could be perfect for future electric vehicles or even flying cars. Imagine Hyperloop pods racing through vacuum tubes on magnetic or wheeled systems, wheels adapted for ultra-high speeds and zero-friction environments. And the wheel has left Earth. On Mars, rovers like Curiosity and Perseverance roll across rocky red deserts using specially designed aluminum wheels with cleats for grip. They have traveled tens of kilometers, collecting samples, searching for signs of ancient life, all on wheels that were tested in harsh conditions before launch. Rovers on the Moon and future missions to asteroids continue this tradition. The wheel, born in ancient workshops, now explores other worlds. Air inside a tire was once revolutionary. Now wheels are smart, airless, autonomous, and even extraterrestrial. They help planes land safely, rockets return from space, self-driving cars navigate cities, and robots wander alien landscapes. The wheel teaches us a profound lesson. The simplest ideas can change everything. From a potter's tool spinning clay in a Sumerian workshop, to the wheels of progress rolling through time, it keeps turning. And so does humanity, always curious, always inventing, always moving forward. As Albert Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge. The wheel proves it. Imagination turned logs into progress. Thank you for joining this epic journey through the history of the wheel. What invention should we explore next? Comment below and let me know. Until next time, keep turning, keep learning, keep dreaming.